for joining me today. Happy Friday. Today, in case you didn't get it from the music, we're talking about Broadway. Just a little bit. And I have two special friends here with me today. So I'm just going to bring them right on in. Come on in, guys. This part. Marching band cake. Hi guys, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm gonna find this on Facebook. While I do that, I like to do things alphabetical order. So I put you first, and then you. So yeah, you guys can introduce yourselves, tell them your pronouns and what you do.
Hi, I'm Graham, he, him, or whatever. Really indifferent to pronouns, actually,
or
for myself. And I am an actor and a customer service trainer for actually paying the bills.
Yeah. Hi, I'm John or Paris. I am a hairstylist, wig worker, costume designer, doer of many things. My pronouns are he, him, they, them, and I got a new job. I don't know what this is.
And I got a new job.
And then yeah, I'm just doing a lot of theater work right now as far as working out of the Stadium Theater in Woonsocket. I'm a costume designer and woodworker for them.
That's kind of how I, figured you'd be good for this, both of you.
I don't know anything about Broadway.
You thought my degree in theater meant I knew about Broadway?
Oh, who would have thought? You're only producing like films and whatnot. No big deal. Whatever. No problem.
Because
it's fine.
It's a little different and maybe not exactly what they teach when you're studying theater in college.
Okay.
But I did Google a lot for you.
Oh,
I did a lot of Googling for you.
I
love basically an academic.
I love a good Google. That's literally the basis of most of the things here. I was telling Jonathan earlier, I was like...
Have you seen me just pull my phone out of my pocket and it's me going to something I bookmarked because it has stuff on it.
I'm not mad at all. I was just telling Jonathan, I was like, so I just look up just enough to say that I did research. Just enough so that you guys can be like, all right, yeah, I heard about that.
So I started my research on Wednesday when you released the promo that said there was going to be Broadway history, and that was when I started. So I am a two-day expert.
I'll have you know, I also started on Wednesday. That's why I posted it on Wednesday. I was
wonderful,
like, okay,
wonderful.
I feel like I've got a little bit going on here. All right, well, I sweat my face off apparently because I'm dying. All right, let's get to our hot topics. Let's do it. This is what the girls are waiting for.
Right.
And literally what the girls are waiting for, it goes into our first topic, unfortunately. Fortunately, I'm curious to hear what you guys can say about this. You know what happened at midnight. Really? What?
Wait, this midnight?
I got greeted multiple times Happy Beyonce Day. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about...
I was asleep at midnight for a change.
As you should be. No, you should be.
I should be, but I never am.
I was not asleep, however. But
I sleep once a week, and it was last night.
Once a week? Come on, Count Dracula. No, but literally at midnight, Beyonce released her new album. I think it's 7th studio album.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that, called Renaissance. And yeah, did you guys hear any of it?
I haven't listened to any
What?
of it.
I worked all day. I
artwork,
fell asleep at 11 last night, and then I woke up and I went to work, and then I came here.
You're bad gays.
Yeah. I know.
You're bad gays.
This isn't news. I know.
You're bad gays.
Yes.
I don't even care. Okay.
My musical tastes stray a little far from.
This is true. Please don't.
I've been listening to my favorite show tunes playlist all week in preparation.
No, you haven't really.
Yes.
What? All right, we all have the show tunes playlist.
We all have the show tunes playlist. But I was
bitch.
like, I'm talking about Broadway. I gotta get in the zone.
That is dedication, bitch.
Right.
Well, I mean, you guys don't hate me, but you all know this if you're close to me. I'm not the biggest fan of her. I do enjoy her for the most part. She's one of the greatest performers of our generation.
Absolutely.
Nobody else performs like that, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I took some time to listen to it, and
what are you?
I rated it like a 7 out of 10. I'm not gonna give away any spoilers. I enjoyed the homage to ballroom culture, which is everything. It's a big part of my life. So that was amazing. As a whole, I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Just because I'm not
I
a
feel like
huge...
for you, that's actually pretty
Right,
high
that's for
praise.
me,
Like,
that's
you are,
pretty...
You are
that's
so
huge.
picky about albums in general. Anybody's
Literally.
album. Like a 7 out of 10 is
Listen,
like, for most people, a
that's
10
a
out of 10.
big
So
deal
yeah, I
for
think,
me.
I think
Especially...
that is high praise. I am now excited to listen to it since I can stop.
Like, honestly, for someone who doesn't, who's looking at it from the standpoint who's not a big fan of hers, too, I think that's pretty generous.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was, like, actually listening to each song. And, like, yeah, there was, like, I will say maybe 5 songs that I was like, ooh.
5's a really good number.
But there's 16 tracks.
Oh.
Right.
I don't know. Most albums, I'm like, these are the 3 I'm going to listen to forever.
Seriously. No,
and then that's it. Like,
I guess, yeah, Break My Soul was the single from this album, but I feel like every other song that I liked on there was not like Break My Soul.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to give it a listen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you guys tell me what you think. Sorry, I don't want to go into this too long. But anywho's, did you see about this whole Will Smith debacle too?
Yes.
He recently released a 5-minute video apology to Chris Rock and his
I was actually listening to NPR on the way over here. And
not
they were
checked out.
Yeah, they had a story about it, straight up.
I'll be honest. I checked out of that whole thing like 5 minutes after the show was over because I'm in the award shows for the award shows because I don't know if you guys know this about me that like the ultimate dream, like the far-fetched dream for my career is to get the EGOT.
Okay.
So like I watch the award shows so that I know who I'm competing with, where everybody is, who's already got it.
Not who I'm competing against.
But like I don't. I'm at 0 out of 4 right now. If anyone is keeping track, but
I just like I don't know. I'm not a big award show person in general.
I'm watching them for who wins the awards. I'm not watching for the drama. You know what I'm saying? So I
refused to talk about it when it happened. The whole slap thing. I refused. I didn't talk about it on the show. When with my friends, like they asked me, and I was like, "Listen, this is what I think. Period. That's it. I'm not talking about it again."
I gave my opinion when it happened because
and
people asked.
But now with him releasing all these apologies, this is the second apology.
Right.
You know what? That I feel like it's probably a good thing because you did deck a person on an award show that's televised internationally.
Right.
And is one of the most respected award shows.
I was going to say, one of the most watched and respected.
I mean, it is the most respected award show of your industry, which is why it's part of the EGOT. You know what I'm saying? Like,
true.
Well, I think that the article on NPR had a good point. Like, the Academy should have taken immediate action as it happened, and Chris Rock has specifically asked not to talk about it. So,
really?
Yeah, and he's on a concert. He's on a new comedy tour right now. So it's the last thing that he wants to do.
I had no idea.
So I mean, he doesn't want to talk about it.
There's been other attacks on other comedians too recently. So that's also a thing.
I mean, he doesn't want to talk about it because, he made a joke that was uncouth. He did not deserve any what happened,
physical harm.
Any physical harm.
Right.
But he made a joke that was in poor taste and wasn't really passable. And so when he talks about it, he kind of has to own up to that, but at the same time, he's definitely the victim. He got punched in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he got slapped. Open hand slap.
Open hand slap.
It was intense.
And I think I don't know. I think it just comes back to the conversation, where lines lie in comedy. You have to have a little bit of fuzziness in that line in order to be able to have comedy.
True.
So.
True. Yeah. And I'm not policing that industry because I'm not a comedian at all.
Right.
I'm not either. Good luck with that. I have funny moments, but I am not a comedian.
Right, exactly.
So I can't really talk too much on that industry, but it is, I feel like with the changing times as a comedian, you should be slightly more sensitive. Yeah. But not too sensitive because it kind of loses its zing when it's
I very much believe in terms of comedy, the punch up, not down. And punching at someone's illness is always going to be punching down.
True.
Punch at healthy people. I mean, not that. Physically punch. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, hi, Christy. Christy said, hey.
Hi,
Christy. Christy was on when we talked about dreams. Hey, Jackie,
I see you.
Episode. Yeah, it was very interesting. I don't know about you, Christy, but I'm still getting questions about that episode. People are still so if you think this and da-da-da-da, and I'm like, that was last week. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Enough. Leave it alone. I'm what I thought. Rewatch it for goodness sakes.
Is that Jackie watching also? Hey.
No, but it was fun. Yeah, Jackie's watching. But it was fun. Okay. moving on a little bit. So this one actually was hilarious to me. JetBlue. Did you hear that JetBlue bought Spirit?
I did.
Yeah, it was. So it's a $3.8 billion deal. JetBlue brought Spirit Airlines.
Who knew Spirit Airlines was
Who knew Spirit was right? Listen, know your worth and know your value.
This
because
is what they're doing. What they're doing with all of those fees they charge is like bulking up their net worth so they can be bought for $3.8.
I'm dead. Listen.
Well,
know your worth and know your value, because if fucking JetBlue can buy Spirit for $3.8 billion, listen.
Well, like, what?
Because Spirit ain't shit.
Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm.
And now that makes them the 5th largest airline.
Well, they're two separate demographics. Like JetBlue has a lot of like international flights and stuff like that, and like Spirit's more like affordable.
True.
So like,
Spirit
what certain people are interested in is just seeing like. So right now our market as it is as far as options to fly is very limited.
True.
And especially cost-effective options like Southwest and Spirit, airlines like that. So like it's just further tightening people's options.
Listen,
to
just
pay.
call me Mr. Southwest, cause I'm good. I don't trust it. Spirit.
Anytime I'm flying by myself, which generally in the history of my flying, I usually am flying by myself. It's always
thought
Southwest,
that JetBlue would be cute.
Why do you need to pick your seat if you're flying by yourself? That's you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm a Delta.
But I've flown.
I don't know.
I've had the best times with Delta. I've flown with JetBlue.
Delta's cute. Yeah,
I like Delta and United. I'm not an American fan.
Yeah, United and
Southwest.
Southwest.
American.
Just call me Mr. Southwest. Like
American
I said.
dropped a suitcase of mine once.
Ken said, "What are you wearing?" Ken, this is my kimono, Ken, darling, sweetie. It's called fashion. Look at that.
And he's wearing a baby onesie underneath.
Don't give away my secrets. Wow. Could have just been a tank top.
It's not.
It's not. But yeah, yeah, that's what's going on here. I was feeling very flowy and Lana Del Rey today. Anyways, so yeah, that's wild. I'm like 5th largest airline, so that means prices going down, maybe?
No.
I know.
This is late stage capitalism.
Yeah.
Prices are not going down.
Well, like
anything ever again.
Any consolidation of option, like cell phones, like all of that. Like there used to be a lot more providers, and
True.
And now
T-Mobile and Sprint just merged, and my prices went.
Yeah.
Luckily, mine did not, but I do have T-Mobile, which is awful.
Yeah. Now I have T-Mobile, and I despise them.
Yeah,
it's okay.
So
I have
much.
Verizon, and like it says that my bill is $80, but I still pay $130. So
I'm dead.
No,
mine is $60, darling. That's all it's been. That's all it should be. So this one was really, really good. This one's game changer. Did you hear about this? The 5th person to be cured of HIV. That was this week.
I have not heard.
I heard about the first 4.
Yeah, so this guy. So there was a patient who doesn't want to be doesn't want his name acknowledged. But he's the 5th person to be cured of HIV. 66 years old.
Wow.
He's been living with HIV since the 80s.
Wow.
And he's been in remission for 17 months.
Wow. That's great.
Literally. Isn't that insane?
That's insane.
I was like, I'm so excited. Like, this is a game changer.
Well,
It's like huge news. Like, holy crap.
My friend Dante is the social media director for the Department of Health in Connecticut, and we were talking last year, and he was like, they have vaccines coming.
Yeah.
And, stuff.
I mean, that was something that COVID brought to light as
They're
well.
making such great strides in Europe on medical sciences regarding people's immune systems.
True.
Also,
very true.
A part of me wonders, like, how much of this is the public now knowing how fast governments can make.
I mean, honestly, no. Like I said, like I don't want to get into
like we've been waiting for this.
To be fair, I will say the new type of vaccine that we developed for COVID was already being developed for coronaviruses.
Right.
There was pre-work done for that,
but
so it's not just
also,
like we can roll out a vaccine that
But
fast.
we also have been struggling with the HIV
since the
AIDS
80s. Like this is stuff they've been
decades.
working on since.
You know what I mean? Like so that I think that COVID definitely exposed the ability to have something be vaccinated or something like
something developed
in that time period because. to be dealing with something for decades and not have as much attention.
This was developed, I'm going to say, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So,
yes, we love Big Pharma. JK. But yeah, and how much money they can make off of it. Yeah. Because someone said to me one time, and it's a very dark point of view, but whether I believe it or not, I'm 50-50 to be honest, but someone said to me, it's not about the cure, but it's about how much money they can make off of the treatment.
So that's that's the thing. Is if you cure it, you have a one-time customer. Right. If you treat it, you have a customer for life. But I'm like, you know, the people that are like Big Pharma wants people like is not trying to come up with treatments for things, like that's obviously not true.
No, I don't think that's 100% true. That's why I said I'm 50-50. I'm down the middle.
There's no money in dead people.
Yeah, like I'm down the middle.
Unless you run a funeral home.
Because I'm a conspiracy theorist boots, but like I'm down the middle on that one. Like I really feel that there are certain things that have been figured out that are being withheld for monetary purposes.
Absolutely.
But you know
and that's one reason why I always look to like Europe for my my medical news and stuff, and also because they get to research all kinds of things that we don't. Because
that's very
Republicans
true.
are like, no,
they
that's
have less restrictions.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I'm always checking out the European medical news.
Honestly, let's just go to Europe. Let's just get it over with. Like, bye. See you later. We're going to Europe.
Honestly, yeah, let's go.
I'll be back when I'm back.
Let's go.
Show's over. Let's go.
We'll go now.
No, honestly, like I've thought about it so many times. I have family from Paris, and I've never been to Europe. Never.
Okay, literally, what are we waiting for?
What are we doing? Anywho, it's just here being gay. Whatever.
We're just going to continue this episode from Paris later. Bye-bye.
No, okay, so let's move on just a little bit. I think we're making good time. Sure.
We talk fast and loud.
I do talk very fast. My trainees at work always complain that I talk too fast.
I like when people talk fast.
I'm like, do you know how much I have to fit in this training class? Like, I gotta talk fast.
Listen, you can get your drinks together, sit back, and just listen, because there's gonna be a fast one apparently.
Mm-hmm.
That's never gonna happen again. Just so you know. No, but okay. So another thing.
I got a lot to say. So
I always have a lot too much for me. But another thing that happened this week. I don't know if you guys saw about this, but there's some like major flooding going on around the country.
Yeah.
So there was some flooding in Vegas that happened. The airports were literally completely underwater. Yeah. There were like entire strips of Vegas just underwater due to this like flooding epidemic that just happened. And Kentucky actually had some flooding. Yeah. And that literally killed 15 people. Mm-hmm. And it's still actually being it's a actually ongoing story right now. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, I kind of know what's going on, but. On top of all the other things, on top of all the other things that are happening right now, jeez, like, okay, so have you heard about this first?
Yes,
definitely. Yeah. My friend Lauren lives in New Jersey, and there were underpasses that were completely full of water.
Jersey gets flooded all the time.
Jersey gets flooded
all the time.
But being a person from the West and being, like, have been to Nevada and whatnot, like the whole Las Vegas Strip is just in a huge basin.
Yeah,
so like
that's true.
With climate change changing a lot of things, like it's gonna flood.
It's gonna happen, and it's happening more so now. Like
my concern with Vegas is
I'm glad
almost
that we have
always
just, like,
that Vegas has that huge population of homeless people that are, living in
aqueducts and viaducts.
Which Kelly said, and we're in a drought.
Isn't that
awful? How contradictory of this world. Right. But yeah, I mean, climate change is fucking shit up.
That's Alanis Morissette irony right there.
Oh my god, yes.
I definitely think that Mother Nature is pressing her reset button.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm trying to live my life to the fullest.
Listen, I hate to bring it to a dark place, but like I've heard about this somewhere in maybe the Bibli or something. I don't know, just saying. But rumors of wars, floods, and natural disasters.
We have already had most of the horsemen in the past couple.
Yeah. One of them was president. I'm pretty sure.
I keep being like, okay, wait. So we had pestilence. That was the plague.
That was definitely these are the plagues, y'all.
War was a thing. Like, it's still a thing.
And talking about plagues, that's perfect. We're moving into the next the very last hot topic, fucking monkeypox.
I don't even want to discuss
on
it
top of everything else. Now you deal about monkeypox. Like, what is happening?
And of course, this is one that they're giving the same exact narrative about that they gave
Same
about
narrative.
HIV.
Same
So
narrative.
they're not rolling out vaccines, so they're easily accessible to the community that needs them.
Yeah.
Try getting a vaccine in Rhode Island right now if you
Yeah.
haven't been
No, you
exposed.
can't
You
right
can't.
now.
You
You
can't.
can't.
You have to go to Massachusetts
Yeah.
and pretend you're from Massachusetts so that you work in Massachusetts. Which, to be fair to Massachusetts, they don't seem to actually be double checking that, so that's good.
Okay, word.
And then the other issue, like, aside from that, is just the vaccines that we have have a lot of side effects.
Yeah.
They're also live vaccines, so anyone with any sort of autoimmune anything
Yeah.
can have it.
Yeah. Which sucks.
From Team Autoimmune Disease, hi,
Right.
get your vaccines so that I don't have to.
True. Yeah, bitches.
Yeah. Get
come on.
vaccinated, please, because I don't want that.
It's being declared a public health emergency.
Right.
Actually.
Well, and it's the same. It's
by
the same
the World
response.
Health Organization,
Yeah, by
but not by our
Mr.
government.
Who. By Mr. Who. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the
yeah.
same. Our government just has the same delayed response as it did
Well,
to COVID.
because it's not.
Because
really
it wasn't
effective.
affecting us yet. That's
As
the
soon
problem.
as a child gets it, as soon as a
As
child
soon
gets
as it got to our region of living, they're like, oh my god, monkeypox, ah! But like when it was outside of the U.S., they were
they
like,
don't
oh,
care.
it's not a big concern.
And now even that it's in the U.S., they're like, oh, it's mostly the gays and we don't want them anyway.
And that too, I heard that it's more, so there's more than 16,000 cases across 75 countries, but 98% of people affected are men who have had sexual intercourse with other men.
Right.
This is what I wanted to say earlier when we were talking about it. Holy shit.
It's
Because
crazy.
Jonathan made a joke like, oh, I'm gonna like refrain from like any orgies or anything until I get my
honestly,
until I get my
this is a time
monkeypox.
to like rein in our sexual appetites just a little.
Well, it's just skin-to-skin contact.
Yeah, it's
Just like-
it's not a sexual thing though. It's a
We
skin
can
to
have a
skin contact thing.
sexy,
Like
sexual,
herpes.
cool
Right,
time.
but like, but it really isn't an STI because it's just about.
No, it's not an STI. So that actually took me by surprise with the stat that like it's 98% of
But the
gay
thing
men.
is, it's not. So the thing is, think about how we as gays are, particularly in the summer. Gay men specifically,
Very little clothing.
very little clothing,
This is
dancing
true.
very closely
This is
together
true.
in
This
indoor
is true.
spaces or outdoor on the on
This
the.
is one of my main pet peeves about going out to clubs. Like, I don't want to feel someone else's sweaty body unless I invite you to.
But even when you're dancing outside in P-Town, we're all crushed up together,
Yeah.
and we're all wearing as little as possible, and it's a recipe for something that spreads through skin-to-skin contact to spread through skin-to-skin contact.
Yeah.
So, as much as I love that culture, and I've enjoyed it, and I've been enjoying it all
absolutely.
summer, and I'm
Don't get me
very
wrong.
lucky that I have not.
Yeah. Oh,
honestly,
absolutely. I do enjoy it.
Should I put more thought into that? Absolutely.
It's just-
I can't get vaccinated.
It's
but
just frightening. I'm
I'm
like,
saying-
what is happening? I feel like we're like going back in time, like with this fucking.
Anyways,
Sorry.
everyone
With
get
this
vaccinated
crazy,
so that I can
like-
keep dancing next to you.
hit the
Thanks.
time warp.
We hit let's
Okay.
do
But
the time
I mean,
warp.
the good thing is like monkeypox is not a particularly fatal.
No.
No.
It just leaves some ugly scars.
It's pretty ugly now.
And the fact that a lot of people seem more concerned about that than say they were about COVID.
This
Find
is
a
true.
doctor.
When we have a whole,
really prioritizing,
when we
baby.
literally have a whole, no, the whole argument for most people when we had to wear masks is that they didn't want to cover their face, they couldn't breathe, they didn't want to mess up their like such superficial reasons to
Vanity.
not wear a mask.
It's all about vanity.
It's so
it's so
vain.
shallow.
That's what it really boils down to.
Mhm.
Like, oh, they lift the mask mandate. Oh, perfect.
And I do want to say, just before anyone calls me out, that point I just made was definitely on a meme I saw on Instagram
No,
earlier today. So
absolutely.
if you saw it too, I know.
I'm dead. No, I'm dead. No, but like honestly, if you can get your monkeypox vaccine as soon as possible, it's like it's real, y'all.
Just say you work in Massachusetts.
It's real, and then on top of that, like it's like something about mosquitoes are passing around a virus again this summer too. So we just can't win. It's just, I'm sorry.
It's only supposed to be one horseman of pestilence.
Yeah.
What is going
Why does-
on?
Yeah. Did you like? There's
Why does
something.
everything have to be unprecedented?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
I'm really tired of unprecedented things.
I'm so. I would really like to
I
go
would
back to
love
when
some
like.
precedents, please.
No, honestly, I would like to go back to when the government just minded their business. When they did like shady, like undercover, like things, and we didn't know about it. Like, just go back to doing what you were doing before, because now we were just too involved. It's like ridiculous.
Well, like I watched this meme about like news reports in the 90s compared to now, and it was just like this traumatic
There's a
outbreak,
huge difference.
this big traumatic outbreak
really-
of something in the 90s. There, like, a lot of people have gotten sick, and like
No, there's a really
yeah,
big difference.
Yeah,
we're moving on. And,
Well,
like,
because
today,
now everything is
like,
they gotta clickbait, they gotta get views, they gotta, and you know why that is? I said it before, I'll say it again. Late stage capitalism.
Michael Whitaker says, "Thank God we still like it here." I don't know, do we?
I mean, we've got some heat waves, but
the heat waves is too like the heat. I'm dead.
Define here for me for
Right,
a second.
define here because I don't like it
Because
here.
like if you mean specifically Rhode Island in the summer, yeah, okay.
I'm hoping-
if you mean like planet Earth, no.
I'm honestly hoping these billionaires kind of figure out this time the
If we
space
could
travel
like
thing.
detach Rhode Island from the planet and like move it
Yeah.
to another one, a better one.
Well, we've gotta-
I'm hoping we figure out this space travel
We've
thing
gotta
because
take the
I'm
cake
literally
with
trying to
us.
just go to the moon and chill. Like,
Y'all
I'm
know
trying
me,
to-
I'm a Trekkie.
Yeah.
If anyone who's Facebook friends with me knows that I am
True.
like a hardcore Trekkie.
Ah!
Listen, if we invent warp travel and as soon as we have anti-gravity, I'm in space, okay?
Kelly,
The only thing about space
Kelly
that
said the look of horror on your face when I said mosquitoes.
Oh yeah, no, I am delicious to mosquitoes, and I really
Same.
hadn't been paying attention
No,
to that.
unfortunately, they attack my ankles nonstop.
Oh,
Like,
this whole
I have
day,
like
but-
4 mosquito
God.
bites on me right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
It's
so,
really good.
yeah, they're passing around some sort of new virus here.
Fantastic. Love that for me.
H1N12.
Yay.
Plano.
Remember when it was West Now? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I do remember that one.
Remember the good old days when the flu was our biggest concern,
Right.
But anywho,
Are we getting there?
we're getting there. We're there, bitch. We're there.
We are there.
Oh my gosh.
We're not
I
young
still
anymore.
look young and beautiful.
Oh my
We
gosh.
look young and beautiful.
I told you I was giving
but
Lana
now
Del
we
Rey
are
today.
old and beautiful.
I told you I was giving Lana Del Rey today. Will you still love me? That's no, yeah,
Okay.
that's the vibe. Anywho's, so we're gonna take you guys to Broadway now. I think.
Wait, should we
gonna-
segue using current events into Broadway? Do you want me to? Do you want me to
want
spin
it.
to
I
you?
need it. Okay, so
Okay.
this bitch here has been like teasing me since
There has
Monday
been
about this
drama.
drama in the
There has
Broadway
been drama
industry.
on Broadway.
On the Broadway.
I know
drama.
that's shocking.
Wow.
Drama.
No. Who would have
Drama
thought?
in the theater.
Who would have thought? Who would have thunk?
Anyways, so you're aware of the existence of the musical Funny Girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they decided they were
You're a
gonna,
funny girl. You're funny for that. Funny girl.
but I'm not for that part. I'm just gonna say I'm not particularly a fan of Funny Girl. I feel like most people aren't, but they decided they were gonna put on Funny Girl on Broadway again.
Okay.
They cast an actress whose name I'm literally forgetting because she's not really a name yet. She's obviously very talented because you can't.
Up and
As
coming
much as I
forward.
don't love that musical, you can't just do it with
Land
anybody.
Right.
And it wasn't really pulling in a crowd, and I'm just gonna say it's because it's Funny Girl. It's not that great, but anyways.
I enjoyed Funny Girl, but continue.
But anyway, so they decided to recast the lead with Leah Michele. Now, do you guys remember her?
That's a dream come
cancellation?
true for her.
Right. Well, so
Right.
do you guys remember her
But
cancellation? though?
she was
No.
on Glee.
Oh,
but
yeah.
She got
So
canceled.
this is-
Why was she canceled? What happened with that?
Because apparently she was just microaggressively racist to every person of color on Glee the whole time.
Not
and
Leah
also-
Michele.
And also a raging diva.
Oh,
no
well,
one had nice things to say about her.
Well, that I can
The
see.
only person that came to her defense was Jonathan Groff.
Which character is that? Because I'm terrible.
He was
with names.
the lead when she was in Spring Awakening, which I saw them in Spring Awakening. It was great.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm
Um,
like, wait, hold on, face.
He
hold
was on Glee. He was the star in Looking.
Oh, Looking!
Mhm,
I
mhm.
literally only saw one episode of that show. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted it to
If
be
you
so
saw
good.
Hamilton on Disney Plus, he was playing the King of England.
Okay.
So and he was somebody on Glee. I don't remember.
Okay,
I
word.
Pieced out of that show actually. Early. But
She can't read, Kelly said. I don't know what that means. Are you talking about Leah Michele? Is
Leah
Leah,
Michele
can
can't
Leah
read?
Michele not read?
Or you're saying that like I'm not reading because
What?
I'm about to read.
Right, because she is about to read.
I am about to read.
Word
Okay.
boots.
So
No, like, I had no idea that Leah
here's
Michele
the
was
thing.
problematic. Okay, word.
So she's super problematic. here's the thing. The only reason anyone thought it was a good idea to bring back Funny Girl is because Lea Michele's character on Glee was obsessed with it. And all I'm saying is you can't have people come see a show unless you cast the one person who brought it back to popularity. Maybe it's not the show to do.
True.
Right.
True.
If it is a vehicle for someone who has already tanked their own career, it is not a good vehicle. Get out of the car.
True. This is very... I did not know that, though.
Yep, that's the tea.
What?
Mm-hmm. So it's been hugely controversial because a lot of people are like, yes, we want to see Lea Michele on Broadway and do Funny Girl because they saw her on Glee and talking about Funny Girl. And then a lot of people are like, she's racist, don't put her in a leading role on Broadway.
Honestly, I had no idea. That was well kept. The media,
the media does not care about Broadway drama unless you're in the Broadway drama circles.
Oh, Sean Reeves is watching. He said, hey. Hey, Sean, I love you.
So that is the Lea Michele Broadway tea.
Bitch.
And again, I'm just going to say, if you're watching this and you make decisions on Broadway, when it comes to Lea Michele, it's not a good vehicle. Get out of the car.
I'm gooped again. It's too early in the show for me to be that gooped. Sheesh.
Do you see why I was teasing
yes.
you? I was not going to spill
You would
the
not
beans.
tell me. I literally saw you Monday.
Monday I was like, have you heard? And he was like, heard what? And I was like, the news from Broadway. And he was like, there's news on Broadway. I was like, tell you later, bye.
So I literally Googled, and I'll tell you both, I'll tell you the viewers and you both at the same time, I literally Googled current events in Broadway, and that did not show up. So, that's what I'm saying.
Didn't I at least tell you the Funny Girl part?
No.
Oh, God.
You didn't tell me the Funny Girl part.
I'm awful.
You were just like, oh, the latest tea in Broadway. And I was like,
mm-hmm.
no. But I was like, just tell me. And you're like, no.
Kelly, was that a good enough read? Can she read?
No. So she said yes. She said
oh, she's talking about Lea Michele. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about her literacy or anything, but I know.
I can't. No, like, I could not. Graham said, Sean said Graham is on fire.
Thank you.
No.
Can someone comment that
quite literally.
Yeah, I am very hot right now.
Okay, can someone comment what?
That I'm the Latrice Royale of the episode.
I'm dead. Not the Latrice Royale. No, I feel like that episode where Bob called what's her name? Bob the drag queen called what's her name?
Georgie?
No. Called Peppermint.
Oh.
Who did she call her? She called her one of the other queens. Oh, she called her Monet.
Oh.
She said, "Oh, thank you for being here, Monet." And then she just walked out. And Peppermint's face the whole time was like, "That's me with this Lea Michele thing." Like, I'm like, "Are you kidding?" And I thought I liked her in Glee. Huh, silly. Funny girl. She's funny for that. Anyways, moving on. So, for you guys who don't know, which I find it hard to believe, all you gaggle of queers don't know what Broadway is, but let's just break it down just a little bit. I mean,
sure.
Okay, so Broadway is it is a strip of 40 different theaters stemming from Broadway Avenue in New York City. Funny enough, I'll give you a little fact about that later, but right now it's 40 theaters.
Mm-hmm.
It is the birthplace of like many different actors and different productions.
Their careers, not their actual birthplace.
Yeah, not their actual birthplace. Goodness gracious, that would be messy.
That would be so gross. So gross.
But many different actors' careers started there, and a lot of different productions.
Vagina monologues were bad.
Yeah, the vagina monologues. I forgot about that. Oh my god. No. Okay. So yeah, it's a lot of different productions and movies that we know to this day have started in Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you guys take away with the first question.
I did want to because I did the research, right? So I did
okay,
want a little factoid, a little bit of
prepared.
factoids that I just learned, and a little bit of factoids that I already knew. So not all Broadway theaters are actually on the street.
No, okay, so that's the fact that I was withholding.
This is one I just learned. There are only 3 Broadway theaters that are
4.
Right now, there are only 3 as of
today.
Right,
yes. Right.
There are 3 that are open on Broadway
3
that have actually
on Broadway. Yes.
That's the factoid I learned yesterday, so it should be very current.
And they play about approximately, what I read was approximately 500 shows a year. But there's only 3 active theaters on Broadway, on the actual Broadway.
Actual street. There are 40 Broadway theaters, but Broadway theaters are in Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, really.
Yes, yeah.
and seat over 500 people in the audience.
Yes.
This
Anything
is
off Broadway is 100 and
is 100 to 499,
yeah.
and then you have off Broadway, which is up to 99.
So we're talking about Try to Recall now.
Ooh.
off Broadway.
It's not how many people show up to the show. It's how many people you can sit in the theater.
Right.
It's not about how many people show up to the show.
Right.
It's about how many people
it's
get
the
paid.
chairs. It's the number of chairs.
It's about how many
And
people get
if the
paid.
chairs are empty, it's still the same.
No. Oh my gosh. So yeah.
So what I'm saying
I
is,
suppose.
Time to Recall is probably just off Broadway.
Allegedly.
The audience may be 6 people.
You're a shady today. Shady girl.
Broadway started in 1750, I want to say, starting with Shakespearean plays.
Yeah.
So it's been around for quite some time.
So that's actually 100% accurate. I wanted to share a little fact about that later, but I'll let you go. No, for you. I'll let you
Keep
go.
going?
Go ahead.
No, so the question I wanted to ask the viewers and to you guys is, first and foremost, to get the conversation started, what is the importance of Broadway?
Storytelling.
Do you mean historically, culturally, or in...
In your opinion, what's the importance of Broadway?
Well, the importance of theater, which you know
Which I know you indulge in just a little bit.
a little, is that it is one of the, if I may say, I'm slightly biased, the greatest, it's a storytelling vehicle, but it's one that we use specifically to hold up a mirror to ourselves in a way that a lot of other artistic mediums can't quite do, just because it's not, with the performance aspect, you sort of have more control over how the audience interprets it.
Right.
Very true. Very true.
So it's very important for that. We have seen in history, governments change entirely what they're doing based on art that's been performed.
Oh, yes.
And that goes back all the way to ancient Greece.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
So
yes.
having a
Shakespeare, like you
major... and Shakespeare, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The government was reacted to Shakespeare's plays.
Yeah.
So having a major platform for theater like that in our country is hugely important. It and the West End of London are, in the English-speaking world, the two biggest places for plays.
I thought we're back to Europe already. Full circle already.
They're kind of even with each other. You can't talk about one without the other.
No,
but that's all I'm saying about the West End.
Not even that at all.
But it's just a hugely powerful tool for our culture and our society when it's used to be that. And there are people that use it that way. There are also people that use it just to make money. But there are shows that are on Broadway that are making statements and making waves.
No, art is powerful.
Yeah,
It cannot be underestimated.
Well, like in the theater world, it's a living, breathing thing, unlike a film. Like a film is, yes, it's, filmed in real life or animation, whatever, but it's still a screen. You're not able to feel the breath, you're not able to feel the energy from it. So you're bonding with people on a experiential level,
And like Grim kind of brought up, it's kind of bringing a POV into the human society, or what we call our society, or what we call our community. It kind of highlights those things in a different. For instance, for me, Rent was a big one.
Right.
Because that highlighted so many different things that happened in so many different
on
lives.
Don't get me started on Rent.
It was a really big deal for me because
we don't have enough time.
I don't think
have enough time for me to talk about Rent, but I love.
No, we really don't. But I don't think anything prior to Rent, as far as in the theater world, really kind of shook me to my core to realize how many people this related to.
Yeah.
And in such a way, it was very deep. I don't know, it just kind of touched me in a different way than any other production.
Well, and right now, with the Tony nominees, when did the Tonys just happen? Did they happen this year yet?
Did they just happen? Y'all let us know. I don't know.
They did happen, and I was not able to watch it. I was very upset. I'm fairly certain that was the one I missed.
But anyway,
there's always one that I don't have time to see.
There's a lot of Black queer voices that are showing up in Broadway right now.
There was
talking about that.
a lot of shakeup in the theater world locally and on Broadway about being more diverse, letting more voices come to the table.
Yeah.
And what was really refreshing, this was all during the pandemic, so the theaters were all shut down, and most of the
theaters,
had to have something to do. So what they did was examine themselves, and that's, first of all, I think really admirable for the theaters that did do that.
Right.
And a lot of theaters did that without necessarily being forced to. There were some theaters that had to because controversies arose or whatever. But a lot of theaters also took a good look at themselves without being made to, and I think, first of all, that's really admirable.
Yeah.
But I also think we've seen some changes since then, hopefully lasting changes, I really hope. But
we hope.
Yeah.
We hope.
We can only hope.
And like I'm all for the classic like Rodgers and Hammerstein and all like Wicked and all of the standards, but like it's really time for Broadway to use its power and influence to start telling a larger spectrum of stories.
For the most part, a lot of these stories can be colorblind casting and have been.
Yeah.
So we've made a
with
lot
the history of Broadway
Yeah.
and casting and things along those lines. It has been very
there is
one-sided.
honestly. So one thing that I saw I actually found her on Instagram, and she's literally the reason that I started following people on TikTok. A black actress was playing Elle Woods in Legally Blonde, the musical, and was incredible.
Yeah.
The reaction was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's got to be as blonde. It was.
Literally.
It floored so many people, but there's no reason not to do that.
No, same.
And
That's
there's
what I
no
thought.
reason that like Glinda in Wicked needs to be white and blonde. Like,
just like there's no reason that what's her name, Holly can't play the Black Little Mermaid.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Why? Why is this such a controversy?
Hair doesn't know a race, gender.
No,
grade,
like it's like, and you know that more than anyone.
Yeah, I work in the industry.
But most shows don't need to be cast based on race.
Yeah.
The only ones that do are the ones where that's the topic they're addressing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like right now at the Stadium Theater, we just finished casting for Cinderella, and like your typical idealistic Cinderella is like this big, you know, like whatever, blonde hair, blue eyes. But
like you said it, not me.
We're casting a full-figured, like beautiful, amazing woman who has an amazing talent.
Come on now,
you know, and me in charge of costuming, I'm just gonna make her look, you know, amazing.
Okay, so and so you guys both just brought up two things that I really want to make sure we talk about too. So you talked a little bit about costuming. You talked about a little bit about COVID and how that affected Broadway. Like we said, there are only 3 open theaters on Broadway, and that's partially due to COVID.
Right, a lot of theaters closed down.
But with all these shows, and I know a lot of people think when you hear Broadway, you think of musicals, but only surprisingly 49% is the number.
It's usually about
49%.
It's usually about half and half.
Yeah, of things produced on Broadway.
Well, like
are
you
musicals.
couldn't. In that industry, you can't do like solid musicals.
No, you couldn't.
Some
it wouldn't
of us
be a
can't
thriving.
sing, but we're very talented.
It wouldn't be a thriving
and we're
industry.
not bitter about it at all.
No, not at all. No, it wouldn't be a thriving industry if all things produced on Broadway were musicals. That's a fact.
But musicals are known to make the money.
Oh,
that's a fact.
They do.
And the industry as a whole, though, I read
like
also.
50% musicals, so you get the money coming in from those, and then you do
you do the other dramatics.
You do the drama and the farces and all those things.
No, but I read also that Broadway makes about 200 million, sells about 200 million tickets a year. And they're expensive tickets.
Yeah.
Broadway is not cheap.
Yeah.
I don't get
But you're forgetting that they do have
per seat.
Per seat. Yeah. And so with COVID and being shut down for a long time, like you said, a lot of people had to like reinvest and like rethink their like business strategy.
It was hard
pretty
to be an actor
as far as Broadway
in
goes.
that moment.
Yeah.
It was very hard probably to be a director or a producer or
anything
anyone who relies
in that
crew.
Well, like CNN had a really great, or was it CNBC? I think it was CNBC.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, had a really good special about, you know, how COVID affected Broadway, and one of the interviewees that they talked to basically stated like, this is a specialized industry, much like being a doctor or a dentist, and like you're not just gonna like tell someone who's spent their entire life dedicating
doing acting and
to go get a serving job or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, like
no way.
I mean, that's the
not
other thing. Like, as you reach the points, those milestones in your acting career, I've been doing this since I was 7, to be honest.
Oh wow.
Yeah. and I, you know, have reached some milestones, and it's not always just you're just moving along the path. Sometimes you backtrack, and that's so hard and demoralizing.
Oh yeah.
Fortunately, right now I'm at like a height in my career, so I'm not sad at all.
I love that. No, that's tea.
Yeah, like there have been moments where I, you know, was at a point where I was getting paid for theater, and suddenly there were no paying gigs for me, and I had to backtrack to doing, you know, local community stuff, which is actually fine. I actually love community theater because it's so pure.
It's rewarding.
It's very rewarding. But like you reach a point where you're like,
the technical stuff. So
but you do reach a point where you're like, well, I'm making money doing this.
Yeah.
I could keep making money doing this, and then suddenly you're not. It's like,
that was me with modeling too.
Yeah.
And because it became really difficult to even book appointments with photographers when COVID was happening and its highest peak, because everyone was frightened of getting it. And like you have to be pretty intimate when you're doing that, like between you and the photographer, between you and wardrobe, between you and makeup, and all, et cetera, et cetera. It was pretty difficult, and I told myself, I will never do another like photo shoot or anything without getting paid for it, because in the beginning of my career, I did so many things for free.
I was at one point, and I mean it wasn't even COVID but the gigs dried up for a hot minute.
But you go back and forth sometimes. That's what happens when you're creative.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're a real creative, it's something you need to do. So just because the gigs that pay aren't there,
you still have to do it.
Exactly.
You get depressed.
You still have to do it. Exactly, because it's what you want to do.
You get depressed and then you go back to work.
So another big thing with Broadway too is the costuming and the wardrobing. Like I said, with Rent, for me, part of the thing that brought it home to me was that they didn't have costuming and wardrobing. They had people coming in their own clothes. They had people coming in things that you would never think, like, this is what you're gonna wear for a show. Like, no, not for the movie.
No, not for the movie.
For one of the plays that I saw on Broadway, bitches came in like regular clothes.
Well, that's all done intentionally.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like that was one of the things.
It's not their clothes. It's costuming.
Okay, so
every Mark has always worn the same sweater.
No. Okay, so not their clothes. Okay, I'm being dramatic, darling. Not their clothes, but things that.
But Rent,
you would wear.
Rent takes place now.
That's what I'm saying.
This isn't Peter Pan or Cinderella.
Exactly. It drove the point home for me because it was so realist.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was like, I would wear that. Oh shit, I can relate to that person.
I thought you were going in a different direction.
I said their clues, but I didn't mean their clues.
So, did you see, have you ever seen Spring Awakening?
No.
Okay, because that musical is fascinating in costuming. It's not set currently.
Have you like the costuming in Boo Bang Group?
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay. So, spoiler alert for everyone who hasn't seen this, and is going to because you should. They have a thing that goes on in that musical, which is sort of to intentionally break the fourth wall. And one of those things is that they have audience people sitting in like bleachers on the stage. And some of the people in those bleachers are actually audience members who are actually in their own clothes. Except the costuming department has to approve your clothes before you go to the show.
Kelly also said that the only set is scaffolding. So another thing, it was very simple, clean, like. It was just, like I said, it was just very realist for me. I was like,
it's got that sort of great.
So like, and one of the big parts and big reasons that, you know, you kind of get into the storyline is, for me, a big part of it is wardrobing and costuming. And that's something you could talk about a little bit. Like, I think that really brings the fantasy home. For me.
Well, from my own experience, Lacage at Stadium Theater was my first Broadway production, Broadway style production that I've worked on, live theater anyway. Yes, off. Although the Stadium is working on becoming a regional theater, so fingers crossed.
They don't have the seats to be regional?
Not
How many seats do they have?
Well, they have enough, but there's just some other requirements.
Oh, because they're still technically community, even though their budget is way bigger.
I was gonna say it's a pretty fancy theater.
It is.
In terms of a community theater, they're the least community theater I've ever seen. I love them. They put on the greatest shows.
No, they really do.
But they do that because they have like triple the budget of a community theater, which I love for them.
So, like, costuming for La Cage was just in my wheelhouse. It was a drag show. Like, I've done that for years. Right? So I could be like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Like, let's do it. But I'm working on Cinderella right now, and like I really want to dive into the psychology of the characters in relation to colors and shapes that we're working with, as far as like dresses and hairstyle and stuff like that. So it just really allows me to kind of like work through relationships with people and like figuring out different dynamics and self-expression and whatnot. So. You know, without the set and without costuming, you just have kind of people there that you hope are really good at what they do.
Yeah. That you hope. Keyword.
They can tell that story, but like living in it visually and, you know, really taking you to a time and a space and a place is what I feel like the biggest magic is in it.
Yeah.
As an actor who's done shows with costumes and without, let me just say it is so much easier to find your character
with the costume.
Yeah.
Honestly, no, there's been times where like I've watched a film, and this is one of my dream jobs, is like to like do like styling for like a film, like a big box film. Mm-hmm. But like there are times where I can predict the type of character that I'm gonna see solely based off of their wardrobe.
Yeah.
Solely. And like that's huge. That's a really, and there are times also where something will take me completely out of the fantasy because it just doesn't fit. And so there's that.
This is not a Broadway reference, but if anybody's a Star Wars and Mandalorian fan, whatever geriatric jazzies they had has the fucking mopeds, and that just pissed me off because it was a sore thumb. It took me
it takes you out. It literally takes you out.
Like, I was like, these colors don't fit.
No.
These shapes don't fit.
Like you have to. Like it has to. It has to. Like it has to match up.
It's
like I don't know. I've been in that position a few times where I've watched a film or play, and I'm just like, ooh.
We are also conditioned as we watch media and theater and consume that to get these. I don't want to stereotypes is not the word I'm looking for, but like these ideas that, you know, if you're wearing this sort of outfit, you're this kind of character.
Right.
True.
And sometimes playing against that works, but most of the time it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. We build these things on purpose so we can communicate extra information
without
having to tell it.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, it tells a story.
You get a man in a black hat and an eye patch. You say that's a bad guy.
Yeah. Hello. Like it's like right.
And no one needs to explain to you that he's a bad guy. And that is
I'm just a Frenchman that had retinal surgery yesterday.
Right, no, that's not.
No.
The struggle.
So like it's really, really important, I think, that those like those attentions to detail, especially when wardrobing, it's paid attention to at the very least.
Yeah. Absolutely.
At the very least. It's huge. Like, and that's one of the things I can appreciate within the drama of Broadway and plays and production, and also the fact that like a lot of the stuff when these producers and like movie makers run out of ideas, they go to Broadway and they just take something from there and they make it into a movie.
Right.
They either go to their childhood or they go to Broadway.
God, we don't want to see their childhood. It's scary.
I meant their movies from their childhood.
Like
when they remake Beauty and the Beast.
I was like, that's quite scary. And enough with the remakes of everything. Jesus,
This
is a break.
I'm gonna say.
I understand.
I'm gonna say this is also from a meme that I recently saw. But listen, if we're gonna keep remaking Disney movies from our childhood, let's start remaking them with Muppets.
Yes.
I don't
need so much better.
No, not Muppets.
Muppets everything.
Muppets everything.
Jim
Muppets
Henson.
everything.
Muppets.
The resurgence of Jim Henson and puppetry is going to happen.
No. All right. You know what? Honestly,
if Muppet Treasure Island isn't one of the best movies you've ever seen in your life, listen, I don't know what is.
Muppet Treasure Island.
Robbed at the Oscars. Why doesn't Kermit have an EGOT?
You know what? Questions to be answered at a later date. You got me with that
robbed
one.
at the Oscars. Completely robbed.
A hand up his ass.
Oh, that's just
that's
homophobic.
That's to unpack at a different time.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the Tonys has passed yet, y'all, but y'all have to let us know if the Tonys has passed yet, because clearly we are not.
I'm 98% sure that that's the one I missed this year.
Every
year I miss one because I forget when it is.
Aren't the award shows in the spring?
They're usually around the same time.
It's like February through April is award season.
I'm not a big awards person, so I usually
honestly,
don't watch
I should stop making plans February through April. Is really that would.
Sorry.
I mean,
every Sunday I can't in case there's an award show.
Just in case.
just in case.
I mean, usually I'm in church anyway, so so I just like catch the highlights, just like sports. I'll just catch the highlights.
You go to church on Sunday?
We go to church at 3:00 now, girl.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I'm like
late.
because we're trying to like
That's
accommodate the gays who want to be in brunch. I can't.
Oh.
Okay, but what about the gays who want to be at tea dance?
Why
Come
can't
on.
No, literally, my pastor and his husband were like,
why can't you have gay brunch church?
I'm dead.
Like drag brunch, sermon, and you're good.
You heard it here, folks. We're gonna have church turn into a brunch.
Church during brunch. Drag church brunch.
Get you Jesus.
No, we had a chicken and waffle social, and half of the queens didn't show up, and I'm gonna call you out because they couldn't drink. I said it's a church event. What did you think?
Well, Jesus.
We're just gonna be getting
I'm sorry. I'm out of this idea of the drag church brunch if there's not bottomless mimosas.
No. Anyways,
I'm sorry. What is a brunch without bottomless mimosas?
Honestly, that's the reason brunch exists.
Can we have sermon and then brunch with the blood of Christ and?
Oh yeah, you can't drink at church. I beg to differ. You just
listen.
When they hand you that cup, you just go.
That's it. Okay, nobody needs to know. It's fine.
Between you and the priest.
Anyways, y'all have to let us know if we missed the Tonys and any highlights from the Tonys. That is one of the award shows that highlights Broadway actors and
I'm very
actresses.
sure we missed the Tonys. I'm very sure if anything dramatic had happened at them, I would have heard.
I would not have.
I know.
I don't know. But y'all let us know. I'm looking forward to seeing the comments about any drama.
I don't think there were any major upsets. I think it was
honestly, if it's an award show with drama people,
actually,
there should have been.
We did miss it because there was a what? Goddamn! I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna skip this.
Do you need me to Google?
You know what? That's why I'm panning to the viewers.
There were some very special performances. I can't remember her name.
Oh, you know what? They did do a.
They were June 12th. Why were they so late? No wonder I missed them.
We did miss it. They did a. We don't talk about Bruno. Broadway adaptation.
That's right. But like everyone was like, "This was in a movie,"
and everyone was like, "What?"
Yeah,
there was much better performances.
I have the winners up here if you want them.
No, I don't. Danny Rico's watching.
Honestly,
Hey, Danny.
I mostly don't want these either.
This is one.
She won lead actress.
Yeah, I can't.
For Paradise Square.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Remember, she gave an amazing
performance. I see. Yes, she did.
Of course she did.
No, she did. I actually remember her face. Yeah.
She slays, of course.
Which is weird. I don't know.
I'm just her name for.
Her name is. I'm not sure I'm saying this correctly. Joaquina Kalukango.
And that was the one who was in the We Don't Talk About Bruno performance, right?
I don't know if she did that, but she won Best Lead Actress.
Because I remember seeing a lot of brown faces in that performance, and I was pretty happy about that.
She won Best Lead Actress in a musical for Paradise Square.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I believe that she was Tony nominated for Once Upon an Island a couple years ago.
Oh.
I believe that she was also in that.
Okay.
I could be misremembering. I haven't.
I don't know. Y'all let us know if you feel like fact check us. Let us know.
Fact check me.
Danny
please,
Rico's
please.
watching, so Danny would know. Danny's repertoire of music is quite wide. So
other winners this year included Patti LuPone, obviously. The musical Six, obviously. Jesse Tyler Ferguson, obviously.
Not Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Deidre O'Connell, that's pretty good.
Okay. I'm not mad. I'm
not mad about these results.
These are like who I would have imagined would have won. So I'm not totally surprised. I just
if those names mean anything to you, yes.
I just didn't watch it apparently.
It was on June 12th. Who saw that? What? Is it always? It's not always in June. It's
What was I doing?
I feel like life was lifing real hard in June, so...
Yeah, I had...
Much what?
Well, June is Pride Month. June is my birthday month. I don't have time for you to put on an award show.
No, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big fan of them to begin with. Like,
I mean, I try to catch them all, but like...
I'm just like,
in
June, you can give them their accolades and rewards behind the scenes. It kind of is just one of those ways one of those things they use to promote films. Like, oh, Oscar winner, like, that doesn't hold weight unless we give it the weight. You know what I mean? Like,
listen, if they're gonna start having the Tonys in June, I may have to give up this EGOT thing because I'm not gonna be able to make the award show when I'm nominated.
No, but it's so much better. It's so much more boss when you're like, this person couldn't be here.
Like, I'll be at Pride.
It's so much more
I'm
boss
busy.
that way.
It's June.
So, like,
I'm being gay.
I'm so busy being gay right now that I can't even make it to the gayest award show ever.
Right. Listen, have a rainbow carpet and maybe I'll be there.
They might, actually. You know the gays run Broadway. I'm just saying.
The closeted gays run Broadway.
Well, the gays in general. The gays,
although Jesse Tyler Ferguson won an award this year, so maybe they're coming out.
So wait. But this award show has been going on. Do you know how long since the Tonys has been going on?
This was what, the 75th this year? No?
I don't know.
You don't have it in your notes?
No, but I know the year that the Tonys Awards started was 1947.
Yeah, I was right. 75th Tony Awards.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you guys do math. I will not.
Well,
I will not.
It's the 75th Tony Awards, but we haven't had a Tony Award.
We had to skip a few.
We had to skip a few.
Yeah.
We skipped 2. I think we skipped 2 for
at
COVID.
Least 2 because
and
I know that.
I think there have been other years where there weren't because whatever.
But like we had skipped at least 2 because I know the past 2 years a lot of actors had a gripe with the awards not being acknowledged or getting their
I mean, a lot of actors were griping, but so here's why people were griping is that a lot of theaters went ahead and did online shows.
They did.
And some of them were really fantastic, I have to say. If anyone's heard of Arlequin Theater, they're, I want to say from Massachusetts, but they do Russian theater. With Russian immigrant actors, actually. You know, this was before the Ukraine thing. They are not supportive of the Ukraine thing, and they have all immigrated from Russia to here. They're not supporting the, but anyways, they do Russian plays. And some of them are really astounding. They also put on original works that they've written, and they did a whole bunch of them online. They've done, some of them have been interactive with the audience, where the audience votes for how things are going to go.
That's cute.
Which is crazy innovative. And some other, a lot of other theaters were also doing a lot of innovation so that their actors would have things to do, and they could put on work. A lot of them, embraced the radio play, which hasn't been around, it hasn't been a common thing for a long time.
That's definitely new.
And so a lot of theaters were doing innovative things, and to just say, there's no Broadway, so there's no Tonys was kind of a slap in the face to all of that innovation.
Right.
But at the same time, I can see why we didn't, because you'd have to make all new categories. Just for 1 year.
A lot of accommodations would have had to be made.
We're gonna do a remote award show, which it's not like those weren't happening.
Not the same.
But you're gonna do a remote award show with entirely new categories and still call it the Tonys?
Yeah.
No, that's a new show. That's a new award show.
New thing.
Right. It might have the same people voting, but it's definitely not.
So there were a lot of people. A lot of actors were pissed.
Why couldn't those new innovations just continue on being in the Tonys?
I think that Arlequin is still doing their interactive online shows.
Yeah, I'm like, you got me. I don't know. That's a good question.
But you would need categories like best radio play, and also the other thing is a lot of Tony Awards are based on the number of seats.
Yeah.
Because
then you would have to change the seats
Tony
to
Awards
most viewed.
but there's not a limit to how many views you can have.
Right.
So how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you categorize what's a Broadway theater, what's an off-Broadway theater, what's a regional theater? You can't.
It's a digital theater.
Right. So you have to create new digital categories for radio play, for Zoom play, for That would have been. It would have been horrible. Really hard. It would have been a mess. It would have been really hard, and then we'd have to have the nominations after they came out with the categories, and then we'd have to vote.
True.
Like
I'm sure they could get it done faster than Congress does anything.
They could have, yes, yeah. Like, I'm not saying it would have been impossible, but I'm saying it would have been a lot of work to do and a lot of hurdles to jump over for something that we thought at the time was going to be 1 year.
Not Congress. Okay.
And then we thought it was going to be 2. So, like, I get why the actors were mad, because they were doing a lot of work and they weren't
getting the same amount of acknowledgement as they would have.
Because I was also doing, I did a couple online stage readings.
Yeah.
And we filmed a whole short film that we did entirely outside with no crew.
Oh, shit.
With no one ever being within 6 feet of each other, and we did split screen stuff to do scenes of multiple
That's
people.
a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. It was crazy. It was fun, but again, it was something to keep us going. Because when you are a creative, you need to create. And having that much time without the possibility of creating was gonna be the end of us. You know what I mean?
Listen, I did 2 virtual drag performances for Ego during that time. It was odd.
You did some virtual drag performances also.
It was quite odd.
So
I was like, I love production value. Don't get me wrong. However, it was odd. It was a very odd time. I was like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was filming in Lincoln Woods.
Yes, I remember. I remember the little glowy thing. Yeah. I remember.
It was a beautiful video.
It was cute.
We filmed at Dire Woods, which is a nudist camp, and it was not quite so artistic and beautiful. But it was a lot of fun.
No, my most recent photo shoot with Pretty Snake was it was on these like abandoned park bleachers, but in the photos it looks like I'm just naked in the woods, and I was like, I promise I wasn't in the woods, but sure, that's what it looks like.
But you know
in the
what?
picture.
Honestly, if not to completely veer us away from Broadway, Dire Woods, the nudist camp, is gorgeous, like one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life, and it's right here in Rhode Island. No, not
because you can be naked.
Not the nudist. Not the nudist.
No, usually anywhere that's a nudist place is the people are. Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, not the nudists, but the woods themselves, they found this beautiful, beautiful stretch of land.
I'm sure it's very clean.
It is very clean, and they just turned it into a nudist camp.
I like neat clean
and
outdoor areas. Very manicured.
I'm a big fan. They're gorgeous. They're a gorgeous place.
Word. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
We're filming something else.
Excuse me. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no!
First my toe, now the belching.
Well, you're a today.
I'm pretty sure that we've reached our hour marker. So I'm gonna leave us there with that conversation. There's so much more to be talked about with Broadway. We could do this forever. But I'm going to leave us there, and I thank you guys for this conversation, for joining me for this. Thank you for joining me for this. Is there anything you want to leave with the viewers? And I'll start with you this time. How about anything you want to promote coming up?
Absolutely. I am working at the Stadium Theater doing Cinderella, Tommy, Christmas Carol, and Peter Pan. All of those shows start in November and go through April. So buy your tickets, come see some magic.
It is. I mean, these shows are pretty magical. Not gonna lie.
And I'm designing them, so like, they're amazing.
So there's that. No, obviously.
Cinderella's dress has LEDs in it. So
what the what?
So she's gonna.
That's giving me very much J-Lo Feel the Light performance when she had the like holographic dress that everyone was talking about.
I was thinking about Frozen on Broadway where they did a holographic dress.
Yeah. See, J-Lo's one of my girls. So.
On topic.
On topic.
Or Zendaya, who actually did Cinderella for this.
She did?
With a fiber optic dress.
Oh, she did. She did.
So that's you're literally stealing.
Yeah, you're right. No. So you're literally stealing.
Not the same.
And how about you, Graham?
It's not plagiarism. It's not Renault. The last point I would like to leave is sort of along the same veins, which is, we always spend time in our community talking about support your local drag queens. Don't just watch RuPaul's Drag Race. Support your local theaters, don't just watch Broadway. Support your local films, don't just watch Hollywood. Support your local artists no matter what art they are doing. We are all working our butts off if we're in costuming, if we're on the stage, if we're on the screen, if we are in a nightclub, if we're in a theater. We are all working our butts off all the time to bring this art to you. So please support all of your local artists at every opportunity you can.
Yeah.
We have so many local theaters in Rhode Island.
Tons of them.
Tons of them. There is probably one in every single town. So please just, check out your local theaters.
And if there isn't, there should be.
If there isn't, there's one coming soon. Because I know of at least 3 that are in the works.
There literally should be.
There are 3 theater companies that are coming soon, at least. We've got Ocean State. We've got Arctic Theater, or Arctic Playhouse. We've got Newport Playhouse, which is a dinner theater.
No, but honestly, if you haven't seen a local theater show, like, you should. It really
Seaside Stage
really,
Society. We've got Barker Playhouse. There are theaters. There's Rise, which is around the corner from the stadium.
That theater on Thayer has opened my eyes up to like a lot of like films that I would have never even thought.
We also do have. We do have. We have movie theaters around that are like second string theaters, but they also show a lot of local works, and we have tons of RISD students that are making student films.
The student films are pretty good.
We have me and the Scorpio film releasing people who are churning things out left, right, and center all the time. We have the boys who put out Death Drop Gorgeous, who are also creating another film right now called Saint Drogo. There is so much art that is being made here locally. Please support all of us as best as you can at any chance you get. That's all I have to say.
Support. No, I love that.
Yeah, support your local artists.
I'm gonna have to ask you to like leave that in the comment section at some point when
Absolutely.
you go back and see this.
I will plug every local artist anytime.
I need that.
Speaking of supporting local artists, stream Brat on Spotify. Thank you.
Stream Brat! Yes, no, literally, my sister, House of Neptune, a young Onyx, Stream Brat.
Yeah.
I honestly can't get enough of it right now. It's one song.
It is a bop.
However, it's the one song of Onyx's that I could not get all the lyrics down, and it's driving me crazy.
Girl, the lyrics are right on Spotify.
I know, but I still
the lyrics
naturally,
girl, I have the lyrics.
Naturally, I have been able to catch all the lyrics from all of Onyx's other songs without having to read them word for word. Like, I'll catch on because I'm pretty good at catching lyrics. But this one is driving me crazy because I can't do it naturally. I have to like actually look at the lyrics. It drives me wild.
Just look at the lyrics like
as a
37
singer,
times.
as a performer, like I catch on the lyrics pretty quick. This one got
Onyx,
me
if you're watching, this is
got me
inexcusable.
It got me doing.
I have the lyrics and he doesn't.
No, but you know what's even more unacceptable is that Onyx, as my sister, Onyx sent me and the group of Neptunes the lyrics to the song prior to it being released.
I've listened to it looking at the lyrics on Spotify enough times that I no longer need to look at the lyrics on Spotify. I'm just saying.
I have to. Listen, Lip Gloss, I got you. Any of the other Onyx songs, I got you. I know the lyrics. But this one, I'm like...
I know them, I should say, I know them as it's playing, but like, if you wanted me to just do
That's
Brat
what I'm
right
saying.
now,
It's not this one. I don't know. Your genius has like superseded my memory. Let's just say that. But I'm gonna let that go. And I am going to say this for the first time on Tea with Taylor. Before I, tell you what I normally tell you is, as a drag king, I will be competing in this cycle of Gauntlet in Providence. So I'm really excited about that. I don't know if we're supposed to even be announcing it yet, but here we are. So I'm excited about that. Come check us out at Mirror Bar starting September, mid-September. I can't think of the date right now.
On Tuesday nights.
Share that with you Tuesday nights. Come watch me win. But yeah, it'll be very, very fun. And if nothing else, I'll be able to express myself and my art a little bit better. And that's something I'm looking forward to, and getting people to know me as a drag king as well. So I'm really excited about that. But also, like I always like to tell you all, make sure you're being good to yourselves. Make sure you're looking inward instead of outward for solution, because that's where you're gonna find it most of the time. And I love you guys. If no one else tells you that, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following my journey. It's been very, 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 very difficult. It's very hilly right now.
It's never just an uphill climb.
Never
just going straight up. Sometimes you gotta come
down.
And
I pride myself in being very open and honest, and being able to express myself with people. And I've been able to reach another level of that as of lately, of just being raw and like honest, and just sharing. Not even just sharing the good times like we like to do, but sharing the real dark, bad times. And there are times, trust me, you don't get this bright without being very dark. So I appreciate you all for that, for anyone who's reached out to me in the past and currently, or who's going to in the future. And I thank you all for that, and thank you for watching, keeping up with us. I'm going to play us off, and you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday. Thank you so much.
Thanks, bye.